Good morning. Hello, cubies and newbies. Hi, I am Sunshine. This is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. I am the ABCube tutor. Let's get started. Um, there are many different methods for solving the Rubik's Cube, but virtually as there are for solvers of the Rubik's Cube. I have been solving since the early 80s. Watched this guy set the first world record live on TV. All right. The ABCube method is not is a newbie method. It's not I don't say a beginner's method because there is a particular beginner's method, but Formula A is 4 moves. Formula B is 8 moves. With those two patterns, that's all you need to solve every complexity Rubik's Cube, because Formula A will bring a piece to the top and will twist corners around as needed. Formula B will move 3 pieces around, and that's all you ever need to do. Regardless of how many, it works on from 2 by 2 up through as large of an n by n by n by n cube that you can have. It does not work on shapeshifters. I'm not friendly with the square one, but it works on every complexity cube, every complexity minx. This is a dodecahedron. It's the Megaminx family. This is a Gigaminx. But same thing. Formula A brings a corner to the top or a piece to the top and twists corners around, and B does everything else. So I try to break down these training videos to be a step at a time because that's how my neurospicy mind works. We've done the corners, and doing the corners means the 2 by 2 is done. It means on all the other cubes, it means that the corners now dictate what color each face is going to be. Hello, hi, how are you today? Thank you for joining me. Thank you for saying hi. Um, uh, Formula A brings a piece to the top, B moves 3 pieces around. Once the corners are done, then we've dictated what color each face should be. Back in the 80s, we worked around the absolute center instead, because the absolute center is one single piece and cannot be twisted around. But that no longer was accurate when the 4x4 came out, but we still do it. This method goes from outside in, corners, then edges, then centers, rather than the reductionist method, which is solve the centers, then pair up the edges, and then treat it like a 3x3. Noah from the ABCube shop. I guess you're a ABCuber. I was going to ask, are you a ABCuber? I am not myself a ABCuber, and depending on how you identify a ABCuber, I occasionally will time myself and see if I can do better, but I went in the direction of teaching rather than the direction of, this seems like an interesting method. Thank you. It is my own. I published it online in 2020 during COVID. And like I said, A brings a piece to the top, twists corners, B moves 3 pieces around. And it works on every cube, on every dodecahedron puzzle. You'll notice there is no parity algorithm. That's because parities are a lie and you don't need to play with them unless you want to. And I have a parity lined up here on my void cube here. Everything is solved theoretically, except for this piece wants to be here and this piece wants to be here. So that's how we define a parity, is where there's 2 pieces and only 2 pieces that need to move. And it's a parity because it can't happen. We called it a parity because it can't happen on the original 3x3. Wait, so you just need yes, Formula A and Formula B are all you need to solve every complexity cube or minx. Would you like me to demonstrate? Let me scramble again. Yes, please. Okay. Always a pleasure. Teaching the cube is the funnest thing that I do in life. All right. No matter a scrum. Okay. I started off teaching teaching the 3x3, and then I said, now you know everything you need for the 4x4 as well. All you gotta do is apply it this way. And my students would say, nope. You know what? That one looks harder. I can do the basic. That's all I really wanted to do. And so I stopped. The Alex event, yes. And so I stopped teaching just the 3x3. I started teaching the 5x5 instead because there's nothing more intimidating. If you can solve the 5x5, the 3x3 and the 4x4 are not intimidating. And if you can solve the 10x10 is not intimidating either because it's just more of the same. I teach people frequently. I found that the Alex have been the biggest challenge. Yes, this is for the people who can't remember all the algorithms. Their brother tried to teach them, their cousin tried to teach them, and they just couldn't absorb it all. This is the cubing method for non-cubers, I like to say. And like I said, I have a parity algorithm right here. So if I don't get a parity on these, I can show you on this one. If you have any questions, or if there's any particular thing you want me to demonstrate, just stop and just chat with me, and I'm happy to be diverted. Distractions are fun because I'm neurodivergent. Okay, so when I teach the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5 all at the same time, and I always start with the corners because, like I said, all cubes have corners, and so I'll when they get the corners done, I'm like, great, now do the corners on this one. Okay, now do the corners on this one. Now do the corners on this one. So I get them thoroughly unintimidated, regardless of the cube, because they all have 8 corners, and you know how to solve the corners. So this can be a color neutral pattern, color neutral formula. But when I was creating it, all my alpha testers said, no, tell us what to do. so your cube is a toy. It has 6 sides and 6 colors, and the goal is to get each side has one color. Each face has one color. But all of your cubes have, regardless of how big your cube is, they each have 4 corners. So we're going to start with 8 corners. Okay, we're going to start with 4 corners, and then the next second 4 corners. So I'm not going to do all of them for you because clearly I'm assuming you. Clearly you're a cuber already, so I don't have to demonstrate how they're all different. So let me just start with the 4x4. No, the 5x5, because the 5x5, all of the cubes have the 4 corners. All of the cubes have edges, and the odd numbers have an absolute center. And then after you've got the corners and the edges done, then you've got either the absolute center was solved with the edges, so you don't have to worry about that. Then you've got diagonal corners and oblique corners. So start with yellow, looking only at the corners, ignoring everything else. I used to take little icky sticky paper and just cover all of the stickers and then only unpeel the corners and do that so I could, but you got to ignore everything but the corners. So you find a cube that has the color you want, and in this case it's yellow. Okay, so you have 8 corners. You pick a corner, find that corner has 3 colors, pick a color. So this corner has yellow. I'm going to hold it in my hand on the top front left face under my left thumb, so my left thumb is going to preserve it. Now we're looking at the front of the cube just as if it's a spreadsheet with rows and columns. And in looking at those rows and columns, the algorithms here, the formula A and the formula B, represent the slice that you're going to be moving, either horizontal or vertical, and the line represents the rest of the cube holding still. So if I was going to do formula A on the absolute center, it'd be this row and this column. I'd move this piece away from the action. I move the space it wants to land in down. I move the piece into the space and the piece in the space back up again. That does boxes. If I do it again, it does the same thing but in the opposite direction. And once more, it gets back to start. Anything you do enough times gets you back to start. Start being defined as how the cube was when you began, not start defined as solved. So this cube is correct. I'm going to look at this corner and see if it matches it, because this cube is correct, so all the rest of the cube is going to match it. I'm going to work around this cube. So I look here. If there's a yellow on this cube, Then formula A, bottom row, right column, is going to bring it to the top because it twists these two and rotates it as it goes along. So if there's yellow here, then I just do formula A. If there's not, I have to look at the under the corner. So if there's a yellow here or here, A will bring it to the top, bottom row, right column. If not, I hold the cube stable because I'm preserving this piece, and I rotate the bottom by a single quarter turn until the answer is yes to is there a yellow in one of these two spots. Okay, and now there is. Doesn't have to be anywhere on these two corners, and A will bring it to the top. So bottom row, right column, I move this piece away from the action, I move the space down, I move the cube into the space, and the cube and the space back up again. Okay, it's not on the top face yet, so I keep going. And 6 gets me back to start, so it's going to be 5 or less. Okay, and when I'm only looking at the corners, I'm only looking at yellow. So when the yellow's on top, I hold the cube stable, I slide it out of the way, and then I go to the next cube. There's the yellow here, so A will bring it to the top. Out, down, and up. This is not a speed solve method, it's not a fewest moves method, but this is the non-cuber method. Yellow's on top, pause, slide it out of the way to preserve it, and then proceed with the next corner. There is a yellow there, so A will bring it to the top. Okay, so formula A brings the yellow to the top. Feel free to interrupt me with questions or comments anytime you want to. So yellow's at the top. The next thing is to realize that each corner has 3 colors, not just one. So we're going to look at the sides of the corners and see whether or not one of 3 things has happened. Either all of them match to each other. Oh, I got paint on my hand. None of them match to each other, or one side matches. So blue equals blue, but red does not equal green, orange does not equal red, and green does not equal orange. So the side that matches, I'm going to face it away from me. And formula A brought the color to the top. Formula B is going to move 3 pieces around. Before I do it, I'm going to show you what happens. Okay. These 3 corners are going to move, but it only moves 3 pieces. So top row, outside columns, this piece is going to preserve. I'm going to move it away from the left side, then I'm going to turn the left side up. I'm going to pull it away from the right side and bring the right side up. Away, down, in, down. Okay, and that moved 3 corners. Once has the effect of going clockwise, twice has the effect of going counterclockwise, and 3 times gets you back to how you started. So so I only have one pattern for it. I don't have, okay. So matching faces away, and then I'm going to do formula B. ABCube 4. I don't know what my cubes are called. I get most of them from just buying lots on Mercari, so I don't really know. Unless there's a label on it. This one doesn't have a label on it. Okay, so matching faces away. Top row, outside column is going to work on the corners. So I move it away, left up, back, right up, away, left down, back, right down. Okay, and so for every other move, for every left there's a right, for every up there's a down. Every other move is horizontal. Every horizontal is the reverse of the one before it. So it's really pretty basic. So this one stayed the same. These 3 moved. And formula A to bring the yellow back to the top. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. And doing B and then A moves the 4 corners to the next step. So if you started with none of them matching, you'll end up with one side matching. If you start with one side matching, by the time you finish this, all sides will match. And it doesn't mess up any of the rest of the cube if you happen to already have that done. So first 4 corners are done, the yellows are done. At this point in time, I put the yellows face down, I abandon them, I ignore them until I get my whites to the top on all 4 corners. Because as I'm bringing the whites to the top using formula A, the yellows I'm going to be able to see them dancing around, and it's easy to get distracted and think, oh no, I messed up my yellows, I have to start again. But the fact is that you didn't, because formula A and formula B don't mess up the bottom part of the cube. So if I have a white on top, I'm going to preserve it, but I don't, so it doesn't matter which way I hold it. And I'm going to do formula A to bring until the whites are on top. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, and I'm ignoring the yellows. Whites on top, pause, slide it out of the way to preserve this piece, and can proceed with this one. So out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, pause, slide, continue. Out, proceed, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, etc. Pause, slide, continue. And you don't have to count your formula A's, but the cube is honest, and so it'll be a multiple of 6 to bring the whites all to the top. Oops, sorry, camera. There you go. And so when that's done, the yellows are still happy with each other. Okay, so just like with the first 4, second 4, we're going to look to see if they match. Okay, and green does not equal blue, orange does not equal green, but red equals red. And like I said, most of the time you'll have one side. Matching side faces away, and these 3 corners are going to move. They're going to move in the clockwise direction. So these 2 are going to come over here, and this one's going to go over there, which is going to have the effect of swapping these 2 and leaving these 2 the same, but you're always moving 3 pieces. So, and then these 2 will stay over here. They'll still be correct to each other. So I'm going to slide first up, reverse second up, slide first down, reverse second down. And this one stayed the same. We're going to use formula A to bring the whites back to the top. And again, this is not a speed solve method, but if you are a speed solver and you're just learning, this is a way of picking the cube up and putting it down solved, so that you can then practice your algorithms on a solved cube instead of a scrambled cube, so it's easier to see. So when my whites are back on top, yellows are still happy. And now my whites are happy. So all I need to do now is rotate the top row until the top and bottom match each other. Because orange does not equal red, green does not equal red, red equals red. And now the 8 corners are done. That is step 1, is to have, so the corners. A brings piece to the top, B twists them around. That's how you do corners. Now, I've been training my eyes to look for yellow and white. So I'm going to keep looking for yellow and white. So I'm going to hold the cube. This is a good time to set my centerpiece, my absolute centerpiece. But if I don't do it now, I can do it later using formula A. So it really doesn't matter, but it's convenient. So you'll notice I just muscled it into place. If I had this edges were already done, like someone picked up my cube and did boxes without my permission, the way to get this piece to the top is formula A, this row, this column. Move the piece away, move the space down, move the piece in, and the piece in the space back up again, and the edges and corners are not affected. So, so yellow and white, I hold the cube so yellow and white are left and right. And now I'm going to work on the yellow and white edges. I'm going to work on the opposite edges. So the centers are going to rotate freely until I get the opposite edges done. So I don't really care about the setting the absolute center. So I'm just looking for any edge piece in the middle, anywhere between the 2 outside columns. As for the 3x3, obviously there's only 1 to look at, but doing the 5 demonstrates that it's all the same. My kids lost my... Sorry. This stuff is I don't know what it's called, but we used it back in the 60s and 70s to put posters on our wall. Without having holes from the thumbtacks. So I just use it to demonstrate which piece I'm following so that you guys can follow. Hello! Thank you for joining me. I'm Sunshine, and this is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. Feel free to chat with me or drop your name in the chat if you want to, or you can just lurk. I usually do 1 step at a time. This is one thing. Blue tack, thank you, that's what it's called. I'm just doing the 5 today, instead of doing corners one day, edges the next day. So I find yellow and white are left and right as dictated by the corners. I find a yellow or white in the middle, and with the active color on top. And then I move the corners together as a unit, because they're matched now. So corners to match the front. And then the top color tells me which direction it's going. So the orange and yellow will land above the orange and yellow something corner, not above the orange and white something corner. So it's going in this direction. So I'm working on edges. For the corners, it was the outside columns. For the edges, it's the column where the edge begins and the column where the edge piece wants to end up. Okay, so it's going in this direction. So this is column 1, this is column 2. And I start by moving it away from the action which is taking place on the outside here. So away, first up, back, second up, away, first down, back, second down. And there it is, place where it is. You'll notice I'm not spending time looking to pair up edges. That's time that you can just skip. You don't need it. Because if you have the corners done first, there's already a correct place to put each corner, each edge piece. And so if you just place each piece as you find it, you don't have to spend time looking for the other one, and they will pair themselves up. So this piece is, or corners match the front, it's going the yellow direction. All of these want to move out. So it's advantageous for me to rotate the centers to see if anything else happens to line up. And it does not. So, but they all want to move. So I'm going to throw this one and a random piece to move two of these out. I'm not going to, it doesn't do me any good to change a white for a white. So these two I'm going to treat as one piece. And we're going to move two of these out from the side, placing this one. So away, up, in, or back, up, away, down, back, down. And the corners are still the same. This piece is placed, and I look for another yellow. I just do this for as long as there's a yellow or white in the middle. Okay, so corners to match the front. It's going into the white direction over here. Again, 1, 2, 3, nothing convenient to pair up. Okay, so I'm going to move it over here. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Find another piece, but here's a yellow or white, but I want the active color to be on top, so I flip it, but yellow and white are still left and right as dictated by the corners. So it's going in this direction. Okay. I'm not going to find this piece. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, so this piece is going to go over here, and I'm going to move this one out at the same time. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, find another piece. Corners match the front. Lather, rinse, repeat. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so just this piece over to here. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, another piece. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Up, up, down, down. Another piece. Oh, come on, stick. Active color on top. Corners match the front. Yellow and white are left and right. The corners match the front, sorry. I have to do it, not just say it. Okay, so it's going in this direction. This one's already found. Let me look and see if this one is here. It's not. So slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. You'll notice that I'm doing B and the mirror of B to get it to the left side or the right side. You can also do it with just B, just moving the piece to the left, even if it's supposed to go to the right. You just turn it to the other way and place it incorrectly, and then switch them, flip them later on when you want to. So corners match the front. It's going in this direction. I can look for this piece. 1, 2, there it is. So we'll treat these two pieces as one. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. And lather, rinse, repeat. Going in this direction, away, up, in, up, and you'll see that it's placed now. And then reverse, down, back, down. Okay. Find another piece. Corners match the front. Going in the white direction. Let's see, 1, 2. That's not lined up, so I can't do that one. Up, up, down, down. Okay, and now let's place this one. So again, just 4 moves and 8 moves. Corners match the front. It's going in the white direction. Up, and I do this for as long as there's a yellow or white edge piece in anywhere in the middle. Down. All right, so these are not yellow or white. Here's one. Now when there's no more yellow or whites in the middle, then I'm going to assess. And most of the time the edges will be happy, but sometimes there'll be something like this that was pre-existing that I haven't gotten to yet, in which case I'll show you how to handle that. So corners match the front, it's going in the white direction. I can do both of these at the same time. Away up, in, up and up, away down, in, down and down. Okay. Another piece. Okay, white on top, corners to match the front. It's going in the white direction. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Nope, no more blues to line it up. But I'm going to use all three of these just so I can keep these white and red together because that looks fun. So up, up, down, down. All right. So here's a piece. Corners match the front. It's going into the white direction. Okay. Away up, in up, away down, in down. Okay. Another piece. Let's do the center first. Why not? Okay. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay. And like I said, so the corners give the edges a proper place to land. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And treat these as one. Slide up, slide up, slide, and doing the corners before the edges, where the centers also, when I'm working with the large cube, and the two columns I'm using are the center columns because I'm working on the center pieces. The edges having already been done are a visual clue as to which columns I'm working on if I get confused or if the cat jumps on my lap in between. So corners match the front. It's going in the white direction, away up, in up, away down, in down. Okay, no yellow or white there, no yellow or white there, no yellow or white there, no yellow or white there. Okay, so now I assess. So the corners are still done because I haven't moved them. And so the edges are either happily placed in between their respective corners, or there might be some pieces that are incorrectly placed. If they are incorrectly placed, then I just throw a random piece into the spot that's incorrect, which brings it out to the middle, and then I place it correctly. So I keep doing, so edges are done. Now I'm going to put white face down. I'm going to work with yellow again because yellow is more colorful than white. I'm sorry, it's just my preference. So the opposite edges, the corners are done, opposite edges are done. Now we're going to work on the side corners. So we can put the white face down, yellow on top, so we have the non-solved pieces on the side. We've already established that formula B moves a piece from the top front to the side front, and so we're going to do that. So we're going to look at these pieces, which ones are correct, which ones are not correct, and then we're going to displace an incorrect piece. Let's displace these two incorrect pieces. You can do this one slice at a time, or if you want to do multiple slices, you can do from the first first edge piece through to the center, but you don't want to go beyond. That way you're forcing all of the in-play pieces to be on the same side, the same row, same column, so that if there is a parity, it's going to show up on the same slice rather than on multiple slices. So I'm going to displace these two pieces. So move it away from the action up into the action up, away down, in down. Okay, so white stays face down. We're dealing with the side edges. So in the same way we looked only at corners and only at yellow, now we're going to ignore all of the yellow until the yellow comes back to the front. So we're ignoring the yellow. We're looking only at the rest of the cube. And before I start, this is a good time to line up my center. Because if I don't, then I'll get a parity. That's what parities are caused by. Center being a quarter turn off. Okay, so corners. So look for a piece on top that's not yellow, and these two happen to be together. I can keep them together, but I'm willing to separate them if need be when I get to a parity part. So hold the top row, rotate the entirety of the cube until the corners match the front, and determine which direction it's going to go. Okay, so this piece is going to go over here. So away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay, now these other yellows, as I work with these ones, these other yellows are going to flip, bit, bop back and forth so they don't get lost. Okay, so one of the yellows came back to the top. I'm going to ignore it. I'm ignoring all of the yellows until the yellows are all on the top again. So hold the cube, corners match the front, going in this direction. Okay, slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, look for piece on top that's not yellow. Corners match the front. Up, up, down, down. Piece on top that's not yellow. The edges are not done yet, so I am going to have to displace it displace the yellow again. So it's going over here. So I'm going to go ahead and displace this yellow again over into here. So up, up, down, down. Piece on top that's not yellow. Corners match the front. It's going in the blue direction. Okay. Slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down. And like I said, the whole thing is just A and B. Corners to match the front, determine its direction, away up, in up, away down, in down, away being away from the action, in being towards the action. Okay, one more piece. Bring it, corners match the front, it's going in the green direction, up, up, down, down. Okay, yellow came back to the top, so we set the corners, and yay, we have a parity. I always like to demonstrate the parity just to show how easy it is. If you're doing the reductions method, you've got the center done, you got the corner edges done, you end up with a parity. I'm told that it adds around 10 seconds to your solve, which is no fun for anybody. So what I do instead, how I solve the parity is the reason why parity works on the large cube and not the 3x3, but it does on the void cube, is because what can happen on a void cube and not a 3x3 is that you can see if the center is aligned properly. And if the center is aligned properly, you don't get a parity. If the center is a quarter turn off, you do get a parity. So the center is a quarter turn off. For beginners, I usually move the parity down to the side, but for advanced people, I just change the color on top. So I'm working with yellow on top. So now I'm going to work with green on top. I could either, I'm sorry, it's not a parity, I lied. Because as I look at the sides, I'm sorry, I didn't look at them all. I only looked at these and thought I was done. Forgive me. Okay, so once you get the yellow back to the top, here's the step I skipped. Then you assess the side edges. These ones are correct. These ones are, oh, look, this one's wrong. So I'm going to throw a yellow piece into this piece to bring it to the top so I can place it again. Okay, I'll show you how to fix the parity on this one where there actually is one. So I'm going to displace my yellow into this spot. Now clearly I'm going to displace an incorrect yellow rather than a correct yellow if I can. So I'm going to displace this piece then. We'll come to the top where I can place it easily. So slide up, slide up, slide down, and continue with a not yellow. Corners match the front. It's going in this direction. Up. Yes, I made a mistake. Okay. Corners match the front. It's going in the green direction. When the yellow's back to the top, I assess. These are correct, these are correct, these are correct, these are correct. And the yellow is correct. If the yellow were not correct, like this, where this one wants to be here, this one wants to be here, a parity is where there's two and only two. Formula B always moves through pieces. If there's a piece out of place, there's always three or more. So the third piece that you do not see is literally the piece that you do not see. It is the slice that touches the parity. So looking just at this slice, you see two are correct and two are incorrect. But if you rotate that slice 1/4 turn in either direction, then you see one correct and 3 incorrect. And you know what to do with 3 incorrect pieces. You probably have an algorithm for that, but I'm going to solve it with B. So I'm going to move this piece into here. Orange is now my top. Up, down, down. Find a piece on top that's not top color. Corners to match the front. It's going to this direction. Up, up, down. Yeah, select my pretty color. Not all cubes are colored the same way. So this is going in this direction. So up, up, down, down. Okay, keep going. Corners match the front. It's going this direction. Up, up, down, down. Okay, and the color came back to the top, so I set it. And the parity has poof disappeared. Every parity was undone by a single slice, single quarter turn. So that's a whole lot faster than the 10 seconds you add at the end if you do it at the end. So now, and the absolute center is correct. If it was not correct, it'd be 2 quarter turns off, and I can solve it with the formula A. So that's the next thing. Now, like I said, formula A will affect. You can use formula A on the entirety of one face, but formula A does move all 6 sides at the same time. So I usually use formula B, but I make a quick look and see if there's anything that looks convenient. All right, so I'm going to do formula A. Here, okay, this piece is under where it wants to be when it's going to land here. So formula A is the piece, put the piece under where it wants to be, move that piece away, move the space where it wants to land down, move the piece into the space, and the piece in the space back up again. So I can do formula A, does not mess up and the corners or edges. It does mess up. It does affect all the 6 sides though, so I only do it for one side. So here's these two. Want to go up here, out, down, in, up. So I can move it with 4 moves. 4 moves is, 4 moves is better than 8 moves. So this piece wants to come to the top. I'm going to move it under where it wants to be. Okay, actually, better this way. So these two are going to land here, out, down, in, up, and reset the sides. Okay, this one, under where it wants to be, out, down, in, up, and reset. Okay, this otherwise down here, can't really do that with formula A because it has to be on the front. So formula B comes into play. All right. Okay. Find a piece that's wrong. Formula B. Find a piece that's wrong. Any piece that's wrong. Okay. Have it on the front face. You're going to move it to the top face. So line up the top so that that's going to be an advantageous. So this is going to land here. I want to bring a yellow piece down, so I'm going to line that up. Okay. So that's your first horizontal, is line it up so the advantageous. And then we're going to follow this piece for what the 2 columns are. Okay. So I'm going to follow this piece. So I go up. That's first column. Slide to a different column, slide 1 quarter turn to slide to a different column. If I go this way, it's the same column, so that doesn't work. So I go this way, and this becomes my second column. Second column up. Reverse down, set the top as needed, and that piece moved, this other piece came down. So now we're going to move this piece into here. I can do it with formula A, but I'm going to demonstrate formula B. So I go up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse down, and set the top. Okay, and that's all there is to it. That's all that's left, is just find a piece that's incorrect, any piece that is incorrect. Okay, on the front face, hold the cube so the color of that cube is on top. So these cubes are going to land here or here. So, you know what? I don't want to do this one yet because it's going to bring down a red. So let's do these ones instead. So these cubes, you go up here, they're going to land right here. I can bring down the yellow and green, the yellow and yellow, or the green and red. So I'm going to bring down, this is the most advantageous. And then, like I said, the edges are there to keep me track of which columns I'm on. So I go up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse, down, reverse, down, set. Okay. Here's two yellows. Okay. They're going to land right here. I can bring down orange and red, yellow or blue, or green and yellow. So I'm going to just, it doesn't, one of these ones. So I go up, slide, up, reverse, down, slide, down, and set the top. Okay. Here. Okay. No, it's still not helpful. Wait, green. Still not helpful. So let's move these red pieces away. Okay, find a piece that's incorrect in the front face. Color, it wants to land on top. It's going to land here. I can bring down the green, the orange, the blue, or the blue. So green it is. Up, slide to a different column, second up, reverse, and then like I said, my edges are there. So if I get distracted midway and I go the wrong direction, it doesn't line up. So I can, the edges being done keeps me on track of the corners, the edges, centers that I'm doing. Okay. All right. Here's a red. I can bring, it's going to land right here. I'll bring down this orange. Okay. Up, slide up, reverse down, and set. Okay. Don't want to bring the blues down, so I'm going to do move the blues up instead. Let's see. Okay. We'll just pick a blue and bring down the orange or the red. These two both want to come down, these two both want to come up, so I'm going to treat that as one piece. I go up, slide, down, reset the top. Okay. All right. Let's find an orange. It's going to land. I can bring it orange, yellow, green, or yellow. So we'll do yellow. Up, down, down. So it's the same muscle memory. Everything is either formula A or formula B. All right. Okay, here's a green. I'm going to bring the orange down. It's not advantageous to use the green, so just this piece. Up, down, down. Here's yellow. I like doing corners first. Goes to the yellow. Okay, so I'm going to bring this piece down. Up, down, down. Do you have any questions or comments for me? It's pretty basic. People always ask me how they see the cube. Oh, how fast are you? I'm not a speed cuber, but I can teach this inside of 2 hours. So it's like, I'm not fast, but I can teach anyone. Here's a red on top. Okay, I'll bring these ones down. Up, slide up, reverse down, reverse down. So, now that you've seen it, what do you think of it? It's not, like I said, it's not fewest moves. It's not speed. But if you have any non-cuber friends who want to learn, I'm your guy. Corner, find a piece, line it up, slide up, reverse down, set the top, and keep going. Here's a red. Okay, line up the yellow, up, down, down. Okay, here's a green. Okay, I can bring down the orange or the yellow. I'm going to bring down a yellow, up, down, down, set the top. Okay, here's an orange. This one's already lined up, 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 down, down, and line it up, up, down, down. Okay. Here's this one. Line it up, down, down. Okay. Just find a piece that's wrong. Throw it in the direction it wants to be. Up, down, down. Yay! I did it. We did it. So that's the ABCube method. When I'm teaching, I usually do all the corners, and then the next step I do all the opposite edges, and the next step I do all the side edges, etc. So A and B is all you need. Parodies are a lie. You don't have to play with them unless you want to. And that's that. Do you have any questions or comments before I say goodbye? I'm here weekday mornings, 9 a.m. Mountain Time, and Saturday at the same time. I'm also here Friday evenings. And I'm pretty standard about that, unless I get a random unexpected request to go babysit and be grandma. So I can I can miss a stream at any moment. But that's how typically I'm every weekday Saturday morning, and every Friday evenings. So if you have any non-cuber friends that they don't want to put in the months, the hours and months learning, because with the algorithms, here's what and when I learned back in the 80s, I did learn with algorithms. I didn't come up with this until the 20s, and I've been cubing since 80. This is the book that I bought at the corner store and memorized in order to learn how to solve the cube. And everyone had a cube, but nobody could solve it. And so if I was walking down the street with my cube in my hand, strangers would say, "Oh, you have a Rubik's Cube. Did you take it apart and put it back together again, or did you peel the stickers off?" Because those were the two methods for solving a Rubik's Cube back in 80. And I said, "No, I twisted it." They're going, "No, you did not." Yeah. So they would just take my cube, twist it up. You'll never figure this one out, thinking that I had to figure out what they did and reverse it. And so I'd solve the cube there on the sidewalk for them, and they'd walk away shaking their head, which was fun. But the thing is that all of my classmates had cubes and couldn't solve them. And so when they saw that I could solve the cube, that my friends would come up, "Hey, will you teach me how to solve mine?" "Absolutely." And then for them, it's like, "Hey, will you teach my friend too?" "Absolutely." And then it was, "Hey, will you teach my friend's friend?" And so I was middle school. Soon I had just a cloud of people around me every recess, every lunchtime, and they're just taking turns sticking their cube in my face, and I'll tell them what to do, and while they're doing that, someone else does, and it was kind of fun. Of course, with my neurodivergent brain, it wasn't diagnosed with ADHD back then, or autism, but I was different enough that I was bullied. So one day the bullies just stopped bullying me. I didn't notice. It took me a couple days to notice, and then the third day, the chief bully works her way through my cloud of people and says, "Will you teach me too?" So I said, "Absolutely." So from that day forward, no one was allowed to bully me, as I taught the bully and all of her friends how to solve the Rubik's Cube too. So that's literally how I survived middle school and high school, was being able to do the cube and teach the cube. There's a lot of different directions. Speeding cubing is the one direction that people went in once the first world record happened. And disappointed in me. So I was so disillusioned when I watched that first competition, because I thought I was good. Look at this book that I got. It talks about speed cubing. This is before the first record. It says, "Other games to play. Speed cubing. It is a constant challenge to try and rotate the cube to restore the cube to its solid colors in the fastest time. Keep track of your best time, blah, blah, blah." And then it says, 30 minutes, you're a whiz. If you can solve the cube in 30 minutes, you're a whiz. If you can solve the cube in 10 minutes, you're a speed demon. If you can solve the cube in 5 minutes, you're an expert. If you can solve the cube in 3 minutes, you're a master of the cube, and etc. So I thought I was down to just about 3 minutes. I thought I was pretty cool. And of course, all non-cubers thought I was a genius just because I could solve it at all. And then I watched the first world record, and it was 24 point something seconds. And I looked at the TV, and I looked at the cube in my hand. And I looked at the TV. I put the cube down. Didn't touch it for a month. I was so upset. And then it was too fun to leave alone, so I got back into it. And like I said, I went into the direction of teaching. Other people went into the direction of, oh, how many pretty patterns can I create? Other people went into the direction of, oh, let me buy 100 and make a pixelated picture. So there's a lot of different ways. Now they have like a few smooth challenge, etc. But so that's me. That's me. This is the guy that actually won the first world record. This is Jeff conquers the cube in 45 seconds, and so can you. Jeffrey Varasano was the 17-year-old kid who set the first world record. And if you are not familiar with him, he does have a YouTube. He owns and runs a pizzeria in Georgia now, but he still plays with the cube. The neighborhood kids will still come in with their cubes, and he'll match their scrambled solves and play with them and things like that. He has made a tutorial. It's about an hour long. And just watching his tutorial humbles me because he just talks about it very, common sense. Here, if you want to move this piece out of the way, do what it takes to get it to the top, and then rotate the top, and then just reverse what you did. Well, I can't just reverse what I did unless I wrote it down. My brain does not keep track of that. So that's me. I am Sunshine. This is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. I hope you enjoyed it, and bring me your non-cuber friends if you wanna, and we can have some fun. I can also incorporate Zoom so I can see your cube, you can see my cube at the same time. So that helps me with teaching. I can teach in real time up to 4 people at a time because because it's all just A and B. So I'll just set this person up for the formula, set this person up for the formula, and then it's like, okay, now let's all do formula B. So that will be fun. In the meantime, I will be back this evening. Go have fun. Go have a good day. Be nice to yourself. Drink lots of water. Walk in the sunshine. And find something to be happy about because you deserve it. And I'll see you later. Bye.